कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरदारी गोपी जन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन व्रज जन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरदारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण हरे 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 राम नित्य गौरंग नित्य गौरंग जय नित्य गौरंग राधा गोविंद राधा गोविंद राधा गोविंद राधे राधा गोविंद जय जय राधे सुभद्रा जय सुदर्शन हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा प्रभुपदा श्रील प्रभुपदा 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 गुरुदेव 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 श्रील गुरुदेव पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की श्रील प्रभुपाद की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद्भागवतम की ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमा ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। वन्दे श्रीकृष्णचैतन्य नित्यानन्द सहोदितौ गौडोदये पुष्पवन्तौ चित्रौ शम्दौ तमोनुदौ आजानुलम्बितभुजौ कनकावधातौ सङ्कीर्तनैकपितरौ कमलायताक्षौ विश्वम्भरौ द्विजवरौ युगधर्मपालौ वन्दे जगत्प्रियकरौ करुणावतारौ नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So today is the very success of our entire organization of DP Camp that we have with us His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu. Hare Krishna. So we are blessed that it is by the grace of Prabhuji that all of us have come to Krishna consciousness. We are growing in Krishna consciousness, and amidst all the difficulties, situations happening in the world, by Prabhuji's grace, we are all going on in our voice. So let us heartily welcome His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu to ISKCON Newtown by 3 times loudly chanting Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Also, we'd like to welcome His Grace Pandit Gadadhar Prabhu from Bangladesh to ISKCON Newtown. Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Along with Pandit Prabhu, there are two more devotees. We'll welcome them also. Hare, Hare Krishna. Is it loud enough for all of you behind? Can you hear me well? Those behind? Yeah. This hall is just enough for all of you. You have packed it. So naturally, last time when I came, Acharya Prabhu said they are going to make a little bigger hall. One more, I think. Correct, no? It's in the process now. So very good. If you keep filling up like this, very soon a bigger hall will be provided to you. Next time you come. Very nice. Very good. So this is a very important workshop we are going to do in the next 2 days. How to cultivate sincerity to attract grace. The most amazing thing in this world, one who is sincere, he does it so spontaneously, so naturally. I will share one real life story with you. In my travels, I came across one very wonderful devotee. He is a young man, he is married now. He must be, right now, I think he must be 38 or something like that. So he was married. He lived in the community of diamond merchants. And he was married to a wife, you know, uh, whose, whose father was like a multi-millionaire. It's like he's dealing with hundreds of crores, 300 crore, 400 crore, like that. Properties he sells and buys. He has thousands of crores. So he got his daughter married to this man who also belonged to the diamond community. But this man was a Krishna devotee. And after the daughter was given, uh, after he married her, he was living a very simple life. And he gave up his diamond business, everything. By the age he was 31 or 32 only. And he was leading a very simple life. But then his preaching was expanding. He started one program here, one program there. Every evening he would get 200, 250, 300 people. He would get in different places. Very good preacher. And he expanded preaching in 8, 9 places in that area. Everywhere, hundreds of people would come to attend. He's married, but lives in a very simple 1-room or 2-room house. But he was always absorbed in preaching, doing Harinam Sankirtan. So he had some money, but not much. Because right now he's not doing job. So he came across one word in the Bhagavatam, what gopis are singing in Gopi Gitam, Ashulka Dasika, correct no? Ashulka Dasika means not taking any shulk, salary. He thought that if I am serving in Prabhupada mission, how can I take any money? So he was not taking any money. Whatever we have, we will run with that. So wife comes from a billionaire family. How can she live with a poor man like this? How difficult it will be, correct no? So the girl's father was very worried, So it is like Gauri or Parvati marrying Shiva, correct no? Like Parvati, once saw Shiva sitting under a tree and she told, for all the people of the world, I am giving big, big bungalows, cars and so much wealth and facility. So can I make one bungalow for you? So Shiva accepted, okay, so be it. So she made a very huge, beautiful palace. So when Shiva entered inside and Parvati went out, she was busy with something else. One Brahman came and told Shiva that he has no hut, no house to live. So Shiva said, take this one. Again, he was sitting under a tree. Huh? Parvati came and she was wondering, where is his personality? Huh? Again, he was under a tree. So, whatever was given to Shiva, he gives it away. Huh? Very easily he is pleased and he gives it away also. So, similarly, this gentleman was leading a very simple life. Huh? So, Shiva's Putri, Himavan's Putri, was a very, very rich personality. And she is material energy personified. But Shiva is very simple. Same with Devahuti and Kardamamani also. Kardamamani was like a mendicant in the forest, and Devahuti was the daughter of king of the world. He lived such a simple life. This fellow also lived a simple life. I was speaking this when I recently went. I was remembering these two examples I told them. And uh, he would get up in the morning, early morning. He had deity, Radha Krishna deity, and worshipping them, Mangalarti, Narsingarti, Tulasiarti, Guru Puja, everything. He would do, give a Bhagavatam class. And daytime, he would read 5 to 6 hours of Bhagavatam study. He would do. And then evening, go out and preach with a lot of Acharyas, Tika, and everything. He would do prachar and Gujarati language. He would do. And this was going on. Initial days, the wife was not a devotee. You can imagine. He was telling that I cannot even enter the house with dhoti kurta. In the early day when marriage had happened. Although this family married to him thinking that he's also belonging to a diamond merchant family. Later on they came to know he is fully into Hare Krishna. Imagine. So now she was like deadly against in the beginning days. But you can imagine now in the last almost, they are married for almost 15 or 16 years now. Now what a transformation has come in the wife because of his sincere practice. So the girl's father did one trick. He had 4 daughters. So he gave each daughter something like 3 crore rupees. He said, I'm giving everybody. So I'll give my daughter also. You can't say I can't give. Because I'm giving share of some money to everybody. So with that money, he had a land which he developed into houses, something like 10, 12 houses. And the rent of all the houses now easily monthly comes to 1.5 lakh for him, easily. Now the wife is happy, and in that money the family is running, and he's continuing his preaching and doing all activities like that. He's such a simple, humble devotee. He is cultivating almost like 65 donors in that locality. Every week he gives them a 2-hour program for all the big donors in that area. And they have helped him build these 9 temples in different places. Not all are temples. Some are extension centers. Some are going to become temples. And he travels between these 9 places every month, a few times. Almost every evening he has engagements like that. Very devoted and absorbed in worshipping the deity and studying the Bhagavatam and doing Harinam Sankirtan daily, preaching and giving classes. And his wife has understood his taste and everything, and she has become very submissive. She has also become a 1600 devotee now. So when I saw his utter simplicity and sincerity, I was like astounded. He calls me every year. I go once or twice, visit him. So I was like amazed. You find sincere souls in different places like that. Wherever you find sincerity, you should associate with that sincerity and take some inspiration from them. Now there is nobody behind him. Where is your sadhana card? Are you coming? Where's the morning attendance? Catch him. There's nobody. He himself is leading. And because of his humility, tolerance, patience, simplicity, so many projects which are all splinter groups, they have become connected to him. That's how he got 9 or 10 projects now. He's traveling around and, inspiring them and guiding the leaders, guiding the people. So there's a lot of Shakti in what he speaks because he lives such a highly exemplary life. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was inspired by one old Orison lady, correct, no? Who climbed on the Garuda Stamba, one leg and one leg on his shoulder. Again, the same point. Her eagerness to see Jagannath was so intense that that touched even the heart of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Govinda told that lady, hey, you're offending both the Lord and the devotee. You're standing on Lord Chaitanya's shoulder, is Lord Krishna. We are keeping another foot on Garuda Stamba, who is a pure devotee. But then Lord Chaitanya said, but look at her eagerness with which she wants to go beyond the crowd and see the darshan of Jagannath. So Lord Chaitanya appreciated that sincerity. which manifested as eagerness. And earlier story which I told you about this devotee, that is sincerity, which manifested as simplicity and dedication, commitment, devotion, and absolutely unassuming and focused on devotion. So that is another type of sincerity you see in him. Similarly, South Indian Brahman reading Bhagavad Gita, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw tears in his eyes and then found out that why the tears are coming, because he's appreciating Lord Partha Sarathi. Correct, no? He said, whenever I open the Bhagavad Gita, I immediately remember Lord Krishna, who is driving the chariot of his own devotee. That brings tears to my eyes. And Mahaprabhu said, oh, you have understood the essence of Bhagavad Gita. The main Siddhanta. That's the main thing. If you don't know what Bhagavad Gita is meant for, Bhaktya Mama Vijanati, Yavan Yaschasmi Tattva. So you have captured the essence of the Gita, Mahaprabhu told him. So Mahaprabhu, in his travels, he is looking for souls who carry some sincerity in their hearts. This Brahmana was not so good in pronunciation in Sanskrit, but his devotion to Krishna was very intense. And he could appreciate the rasa between Lord and the Bhakta, between Arjuna and Krishna. See, such rasas between Lord and the devotee are very, very fine subject matter. To the degree we are sinful, to the degree we are very much in tamoguna, rajaguna, these fine exchanges between Lord and the devotee will not make much sense to us. Because it is a very soft, gold weight subject matter it is. So that's why he says, Adasri Krishna Namadi Nabaved Grahyam Indriyaihi Sevon Mukhehi Jihvadau Swayameva Swaratyadaha. So the tongue is both Jnanendriya and Karmendriya also. As tongue as a Jnanendriya, it is tasting and recognizing sweet, bitter and everything. The tongue as a Karmendriya is speaking. So we should taste only prasad and speak only Krishna Katha or Krishna Nam. If we can strictly adhere to this, then our tongue will become purified and we'll be able to elevate our consciousness from gross consciousness to subtle and more subtle and very fine consciousness, from subtle material consciousness to eventually subtle spiritual consciousness. We can arrive, and there these rasas will make a lot of sense. For example, with the tongue, one should not speak harshly, one should not speak falsity, lies, and one should not speak non-beneficially, useless talk about politicians and about cinema actors and sportsmen. One should not talk uselessly. One should not argue unnecessarily, meaninglessly. One should not debate on futile topics. One should not find fault with other devotees. One should not blaspheme the devotees. And one should one should not eat non-vegetarian with the tongue. One should not eat such things. Isn't it? And one should not gossip. One should not do rumor mongering about other devotees. So these are all don'ts for the tongue. And what are the do's for the tongue? One should chant the holy name. One should speak the glories of the Lord. One can sing Vaishnava songs. One can praise the devotees, glorify the devotees. And one can speak about the Lord's name, form, qualities, pastimes, activities. Yeah. And one can speak beneficially. One can praise others. One can encourage others, isn't it? So these are all right things to do with the tongue. Just see one small part of the body, how many things it can do or cannot do. You saw that? This is like a rudder in a ship. Yeah, a rudder, you change the position of the rudder, the whole ship changes. Therefore, in the Bhagavatam, it is said, Jitam sarvam jite rase. It is said, if you conquer tongue, you have conquered all the senses. It says. So, one of the ways to conquer the tongue, I told you just now, what not to speak and what to speak. Another way to conquer the tongue is the tastes in the tongue. That means one doesn't hanker for opulent foods, or one doesn't eat too much food. Too much food puts you to sleep, and too opulent food agitates your tongue and agitates your mind also. Very opulent foods, luchi chini, puri pali, he says, no? puri, jalebi, shrikhand, gulab jamun, rasagulla, all these things they agitate the tongue. The more you eat, the more as tongue is agitated, mind will be also oscillating mind, isn't it? So, and when you eat too much, we are put to sleep. Huh? Immediately, a straight person becomes knocked out, flat on the ground. You can see that. How do you know you have overeaten or not? After eating, what happens? You have to see. We're going to sleep, then we are overeating. So, in this way, avoid overeating, avoid opulent eating, and speak what is right for the tongue to speak. These two things, if we do, that's what he's saying. Atas Sri Krishna Namadi na bhaved. Grahyam means by gross senses, you cannot recognize Krishna and his beautiful pastimes. What he says, Sevon Mukhe Jihvadav, Swayam Eva Suratyada. These are the sevas. Two type of services you can do with the tongue. Right things to speak or chant, and wrong things to avoid. Right things to eat, wrong ways of eating. So in this way, our spiritual life begins with the tongue. And then we can make progress. Then we can become a sincere devotee. Those who eat very opulent foods, their senses become very strong. And they will give gali to others. They will raise the hand. They can beat also others because they have too much strength unnecessarily. Correct. Correct, no? There was one fellow called Dambodbhava. This Dambodbhava went to Badrikashram. Where is it? On the top of, Kedarnath is here, Badrinath is even above. So he went to that. Why he went to Badrinath? Because he came to know from Narada that there lives two powerful saintly persons, Naranara and Rishi. Narada said, in this world there is nobody as powerful as them. You are asking for a combat who can fight with you. These are the two most powerful people. So this Dambodhava had performed a severe tapasya to demigods, and he had thousands of hands. And then he went there and he saw these two personalities sitting and doing meditating. He yelled and shouted and invited them for a fight. Narana and she said, "What are you talking? Look at this beautiful place. You can hear the sound of the river water. You can hear the sound of the chirping birds, and a mild wind is blowing, and there are fragrant flower gardens. And this ambience is just fit for performing meditation. We are already, two of us are sitting and doing meditation. You also come and sit. Idam asanam. Take the asana, sit, and you also do meditation with us." But he was not in any, because he was driven by passion and ignorance. He shouted, I shouted. He said, "My hands are itching for a fight. Get up, come for a fight," he said. Now Narayana Rishi understood that he is not going to listen to good advice. He just picked up two clumps of grass and invested it with potency. Immediately that became like lightning streaks. They started going. You have seen in the sky, you have seen lightning streak? Like that, he invested potency in this, and it went and cut all the hands of this fellow, Dambodhava. At last, Lord left only two hands, one for eating, one for backside. And poor fellow, at least that much he can have. Correct, no? Like you all have two hands. You can't do too much mischief with only two hands. So the other hands, Lord cut off and said, "Now you go back, relax now." That fellow ran away after that. So you will see that in this world, when one is eating too much and eating opulently, one becomes fat and one becomes proud, one becomes arrogant, one becomes abusive and offensive. So one should keep eating program simple and speaking program pure. Speak purely, avoid impure speech. Then you will see that it will become a habit for you. To naturally speak purely. It will become a regular habit for us. So in this way, this is the preliminary step in cultivating sincerity, what I told till now. I gave you many examples of sincere fellows. And I told this fellow who was not sincere, who? This Dambodhava, isn't it? Similarly, there was other fellow, he was in Kedarnath. This fellow went to Badrikashram, and that fellow went to Kedarnath. And there he was cutting flesh from his body and putting in the fire. And why he did that? Because he asked Narada, I want to get Uma, wife of Shiva. So what is the best method? Whom should I worship? He asked. He said, you worship Shiva only. Although Narada guided Dhruva to go to Vishnu, in this case, he guided him to Shiva. Because Narada knew what will happen subsequently. He cut the flesh and put in the fire, and at last Shiva was not coming for a few days. Then he took a kadag chopper and said, he'll cut my head and put it in the fire. Once you cut your head, how will you put it? Therefore, he kept the head like because it will fall in the fire. Correct? He was about to cut. As soon as he did like that, Shiva immediately came and caught hold of his hand and said, hey, what? Why are you doing this? Don't you know my name is Ashutosh? I'm easily pleased. I never told you to cut your head like this. Why are you imagining your own austerities? Like one boy was telling me recently, Prabhuji, I'm going to Vrindavan, please bless me, he said. What are you going to do in Vrindavan? He said, I'm going to do Dandavati Parikrama. Then I asked, how many rounds are you chanting? Prabhuji, I try for 16, one day I chant 2 rounds, one day 4, one day 8 rounds. It's not happening properly, Prabhuji, chanting. And I asked him, what is your morning program? What to do, Prabhuji? Getting up becomes 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. And he says he's going to do Dandavati Parikrama in Vrindavan. I said, what austerity Prabhupada has given, you are not doing. And you want to do austerity which Prabhupada never prescribed. This is called as whimsical behavior. Yah shastra vidimutsrajya vartate kamaka. Kamaka artha means you do your own thing. I said, do the basic thing, Prabhu. Chant 16 rounds, wake up in the morning, dance in Guru Puja, you'll go back to Godhead. You don't have to invent your own new ways. You are not doing what is prescribed for you, I told him. So, in the same manner, this fellow was cutting flesh and putting in the fire. And then Shiva asked, what do you want? And then he said, whomever I touch on the head, that head should crack into 100 pieces. Once Shiva was not happy to give the boon. He asked him, why are you asking such a destructive boon? But he was very adamant. Then when Shiva gave him, he wanted to test it on Shiva's head. Can you imagine? See, Shiva is giving him the boon and he is trying to kill Shiva only. This is the aseric mentality. Just see. And then when Shiva was fleeing, you know the rest of the pastime, how later on this fellow kept his hand in his own head and he had Tamoguni people. Dambodhbhava was Rajoguni and this fellow was Tamoguni. Crazy people. Uncontrolled senses. Uncontrolled mind. So with uncontrolled senses and uncontrolled mind, we can't become sincere. We will have naughty behavior, mischievous behavior, and duplicitous behavior, leg pulling, backbiting, bad mouthing. All bad things will come with passion and ignorance, uncontrolled mind and uncontrolled senses. So therefore, we have to make an effort to come to Sattva Guna, situate yourself in Sattva Guna and become very simple. What is that famous song? Sarala Kariyama Ye Bhava Sagare Yamana Daya Deki Ye Kanya Yadi Gaurana Hoito Kavye Ki Hoito Ye Mone Dori Tande Radhar Mahima Prema Rasa Sima Jagate Janato Ke. See, he's saying, Sarala Kariyaman. He's saying, make your mind simple. Don't be duplicitous. Don't be mischievous. Don't be complicated. So to keep the mind simple, one should cultivate the sincerity. And how to cultivate the sincerity, we are going to learn. Let us proceed from here. One of you can read that first. Sincerity, how to put into practice. Is it, you have your notes also, you can see the notes and read. One of you has a mic with you? Yeah.
Has Bhagavatam spoken to you? Amarendra had written Srila Prabhupada asking for advice on running his campaign to become the mayor of Dallas. In reply, Prabhupada instructed Amarendra to study the books and, after consulting with the devotees, to apply the teachings in the practical field. As a devotee becomes absorbed in a particular service, verses and purports seem to speak on him in that
And
regard.
speak to him. They seem to
Speak to him.
speak to him. Yeah. So the purports seem to speak to him in that regard, he's saying, which means, see, Amarendra wanted to start a political campaign. He wanted to know whether he can take up some position like MLA, MP, CM, that kind of position. Prabhupada didn't say no. Prabhupada said, yes, you can do that. But prior to that, what you should do, he said. Huh? What? Study all Prabhupada's books and also consult the devotees and apply the teachings in your practical field. Huh? And then when you become absorbed in study of Prabhupada's books, then what happens to you? Huh? The verses and purports, they start speaking to you. Huh? What is the meaning of verses speaking to you? You will become eventually expert in reading between lines in line with Prabhupada. Huh? Like when you take a purport, when you're reading the purport, one line you read it, 10 new thoughts will come in your mind. But all of them will be in line with Prabhupada. That means your mind is absorbed. Absorbed mind gives rise to impressions. Huh? And prolonged hearing leads to absorption. And absorbed mind leads rise to impressions coming out of the mind. And they're all pure positive impressions in line with Guru Parampara. Continuously. That's how a speaker can speak continuously. How a speaker is, a speaker speaking, it is a blessing of the Guru Parampara. We are sitting in the Vyasasana and we are elaborating on the meanings of the Shastra when we are reading. So it's not like you can cram and vomit. To speak the right words at the right time when you are explaining something, that is actually empowerment of the Guru Parampara. So Prabhupada said, yes, go ahead. If like Amarendra,
If, like Amarendra, one service leads one into politics, then every purport can be studied from that perspective with good results. Maharaj Prithu's instructions in the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam and the 17th and 18th chapters of the 1st canto describing Maharaj Parikshit's meeting with Kali are particularly important sources of knowledge about society and politics.
yeah, correct? There is so much in the 4th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Prithu Maharaj, how he ruled the world, what kind of qualities he had. Amazing section it is. There are hundreds of things to be taught from Prithu Maharaj's section for any leader in this world. Similarly, Parikshit Maharaj, how he dealt with Kali, how he subdued the evil forces. So one should study these sections who is going to take up some leadership, he's saying. Yeah, go ahead.
And I recall how, when traveling with the library party to the universities, our morning classes would always gravitate towards topics relevant to distributing books to the professors. In this way, the Bhagavatam speaks to a devotee in terms of his personal endeavor.
Which means, when you are reading the book, there are two types of realizations arise in your heart. One is the relish of the knowledge of Bhagavatam and pastimes, and another one is desire to reach the Bhagavatam to the suffering souls. So, Janma Sarthaka Kori Kara Parabhava. So you also relish the pastime and the lessons and learnings. You want to apply it in your life. And then you think, what a wonderful thing I received in my life. Let me give it to others also. Like that, yeah. Then this way Bhagavatam speaks to your devotee. Now, what is the meaning of Bhagavatam speaking to your devotee? Say, after the Bhagavatam class is over. So, when you get up and walk out, your mind should be filled with thoughts of what you heard in the class. What pastimes I heard and what lessons I learned. Oh, this was such a brilliant point, and oh, I love this. So one keeps thinking. And then when mind is loudly thinking, if you meet somebody on the way, you will tell them, hey, today I heard this, such a nice point. Or one little story I heard, you will share with them. I was very inspired by Dambodh Baba, just now I told you. Correct now? You understand, by hearing him, you understand how not to be. Correct now? Yeah. So, and prior to that, in the beginning of the class, I told about one preacher, devotee, how simple he was. So you also hear how to be and how not to be. So when you are deeply inspired, then that will keep arising in your mind and you will spell it out to others. In this way, you internalize it and you become absorbed. What is sincerity?
What is sincerity? Regardless of one's service, a devotee must prove his sincerity to serve Krishna's mission. He should endeavor with full energy, follow the four regulative principles, attend Mangalarati, and chant 16 rounds. And every day he should receive knowledge in Parampara from Srila Prabhupada's books. This will allow him to preach with the proper respect and obedience to the previous acharyas while maintaining his purity, even in the political field. And as for results, that is not in the devotee's hands. After all, Prabhupada writes, the result is given to Krishna. The main point is to execute everything with complete sincerity and enthusiasm without deviating from the principles as given to you in my books.
Yeah. So Prabhupada attributes sincerity and enthusiasm to following the morning program, beginning with Mangalarti, 4 regs and chanting 16 rounds and all that, and attending Bhagavatam class. If now why the sincerity enthusiasm is required there? It's very easy to begin spiritual life, and it's very easy to bloop also, give up and run away. What is challenging? Maintaining steadily. So I had made one. Let me just check it whether I can get. See this topic. What I written? How to keep enthusiasm in the morning program alive. How many of you are eager to know this? Here is the formula. Please read this. And you?
Order of spiritual master and faith in scriptures.
These two are the powerful motivators for a beginner in Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. Like if you have Shraddha, Shastriya Shraddha, not Laukik Shraddha. Laukik Shraddha, like now Durga Puja is going on, many people have Laukik Shraddha. They think, we will pray for this and that, get things like that. And once the things are obtained, they forget worship after that. And people sometimes maybe putting some faith in some Baba, he does some miracles, some magic and things like that. But Shastriya Shraddha actually is based on studying the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam deeply. So we should have Shastriya Shraddha and also take the order of Prabhupada and Guru very seriously. Then those become the motive. Prabhupada said, chant 16 rounds, follow 4 regs, you'll go back to Godhead. So you have faith in those instructions. Then you read further. What happens by that?
Motivation to follow morning program.
Correct.
Though the taste may not
Though
the taste may not be high, do it as austerity.
So the taste may not be high. The beginning it may be bitter. Pitta upatapta rasana senarochikano. Prabhupada Goswami says like a person with jaundiced tongue, he considers the sugarcane juice to be bitter. Is sugarcane juice bitter? No, it is sweet. But if you keep drinking, when the jaundice is gone, it will be sweet. It will be sweet. It's always sweet, but you will realize it is sweet. Go ahead further. So you have to do it as an austerity. Let us take a couple of examples. Prachetas were told to rule the world. What they did? They went to forest and they did austerity. Why? Because when you do austerity, you control the senses, control the mind, chant some names and purify the mind, purify the senses, and then become calm, cool, collected. And then you gain focus like a lens. If you're shaking the lens, you cannot focus. If you're holding the lens at a focal point, then only you can burn a paper. Like that, you calm the mind and focus on the heart by meditation on the Lord and chanting the holy name and purify the mind and heart, free from passion and ignorance. Then in goodness, then one can develop a vision of the Lord and Lord's teachings in the scriptures. Then one can come back and take the rule of the whole world. Prachetas did that. Brahma also did that. In the dawn of creation, he saw only blackout, darkness everywhere. So he was wondering what to do. Who am I? He even got off from the lotus and walked through the stem and came to the navel of the Lord. Still he didn't see anything. Can you imagine? Again he climbed up and went to the top and sat. Only one thing he understood. I am sitting on a lotus. That much he knew. Nothing else. Everything is black. And then he got that instruction. What is the instruction? He got 2 letters. Tapa. Perform austerity. Then 100 celestial years he did that. Chanted the Kama Gayatri mantra. And then at the end of which, when he opened the eyes, clear vision was obtained. It was brightly lit up. He saw the lotus, he saw the Lord's navel, he saw Lord's lotus feet, pitambar and jeweled belt, 4 blue shams, Shankachakra Gada Padma Mukut, And then shark-shaped earrings, smiling face, everything is up. Lord also smiled upon him and he shook the hands, gave him appreciation, and gave him a responsible position to become leader of the Brahmanda. You take up the leadership of the whole universe. Gave him appreciation, responsible position, revelation of Vaikuntha also. Lord showed him, Vaikuntha was flying, he saw. And the revelation. Then Lord also gave him benediction. These are the four fruits of austerities. What are they? Appreciation, responsible position, revelation, and benediction. So that Brahma, by austerity, he got all this. He got darshan of Vaikuntha, darshan of Lord. He got a nice seva to do. And he got the vision to see everything. So appreciation also from the Lord. So the second example of austerity is Brahma. First example I gave Prachetas. A third example is Dhruva. When Dhruva went to forest, he went with greed and envy. Greed for kingdom and envy for stepmother. Isn't it? But then after meditating on Vishnu, standing on one leg for first month, he took only tasteless fruit once in 3 days. Second month, he took only grasses once in 6 days. Third month, he took only water once in 9 days. Fourth month, he took only air once in 12 days. Which means 12 days you don't breathe. After 12 days, one breath you take, that's all. I can continue for 12 more days. Like that. And then the fifth month, he stopped that also. Severe austerity. He was really bent on getting darshan of Vishnu. And then the sixth month, Lord Vishnu arrived. Now the greed for kingdom and envy for stepmother both got dissolved by getting the darshan of Vishnu. Just like you take a barrel full of straw, yellow hay. You just put one matchstick inside. It and put it, it will burn down everything. So all the impurities in his heart were burned down. Dhruva Maharaj became a pure devotee. So in this way, by austerity, Dhruva became purified and elevated. He offered namaskar not only to his mother, even to his stepmother also he did namaskar. Because the envy was gone. And he told the Lord also, Kacham Vajinvan, Abhidivya Ratnam, Swamin Kritarthosmi, Varamneyas. That means greed is also gone, envy is also gone. Purify. So in this way, when you do the austerity, even though the taste may not be high, you will get purified, you will get elevated. What that was? Tapo divyam putraka yena sattvam shuddhyet yasmat brahma saukyam to anantam, like that he says. See, these people are also doing tapasya, I see here. What tapasya is it? Is it? It's a different type of tapasya. This is mundane tapasya. Correct, no? But what are we talking about? Divine tapasya. What is the difference between the two? Mundane tapasya and divine tapasya. Mundane, yes? Divine tapasya is satisfaction of Vishnu. Whereas mundane tapasya is satisfaction of one's own senses. Like these fellows are traveling Pune to Bombay, so that 500 rupees extra they can get every month. For that they're slogging so much, correct? No? Isn't it? So we have to do which tapasya we should do? Divine tapasya, tapo divyam. Why? Sattvam shuddhyet. Your mind will become cleansed, purified. Yasmad brahma saukyam tu anantam. You will get unending bliss. Infinite spiritual bliss if you do that. So you get bliss also, you get purification also. In Sattva-guna you are purified. In Vishuddha Sattva you get bliss. Absorption of bliss you get. So read further, experience of Sukham.
Experience of Sukham from Sattviki Bhakti, which is the preliminary stage of awakening of love for Krishna hidden in the heart, plus losing taste for sinful habits.
Because you are purified, then you lose taste for sinful habits. Because you are getting some Sukham, that gives impetus to do austerity more and more. And then you get, that turns into love for God. Love for God is hidden in our heart. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema, Sadhika Bunai, Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte, Kore Udai. So it is immediately blossomed. Then next.
Devotee experiences inexplicable spiritual joy plus more conviction to practice spiritual rules and regulations.
This is why you find devotees becoming fixed up devotees, because they are getting these two things. They lose taste for sinful activities and they also get some happiness. Then that keeps multiplying and turns into rock like conviction. See, those people who engage in lusty, angry, and greedy activities, they get de energized. For example, lust, adamant desire for the opposite sex, you drain out your energy by that. Greed, you are looking at somebody and burning in the heart. Greed. Similarly, anger, doctors say it's like running 5 miles distance. How much energy will be spent? That much energy is spent when you become extremely angry on somebody. So much energy from the body and mind is dissipated. Whereas when you perform spiritual austerity, you conserve these energies. And that turns into conviction. Yeah. Read further.
Devotee preaches vigorously with confidence what he has learned, practiced, and experienced, multiplies conviction with still higher spiritual taste.
So you are able to preach vigorously because your conviction is increasing. Confidence level is increasing. So you learn, you practice, and you experience. Initially, you are learning, and when you make an effort to practice, then that experience, realization will come. And then conviction keeps multiplying. Shraddha becomes multiplied. You go to a further stages, Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava, Prema, like that you go. So this is the secret. So in this entire slide, what do you think? Where is the secret of this one? How to keep enthusiasm in the morning program alive? Yes? What is? Many things I've said here. Which one? Huh? Yeah, following the order of Guru and having firm faith in the scripture and sticking to the regulative programs given in the morning. That's where it begins. When you faithfully do that, then everything else follows after that. Okay, now test for one sincerity. Read that.
Although devotees' services to the spiritual master are multifarious and easily award one liberation, they sometimes bring the devotee into direct conflict with the material world. These occasions provide tests of one's sincerity and trust in Krishna consciousness. It is one thing to enjoy the liberated status of devotional service when one's activities provide humorous contrast to stereotyped ways of life. But when the execution of one's spiritual duties seem to bring one only trouble, the tendency is to have second thoughts and in a different mood ask oneself, is this what I came to spiritual life for?
Yeah. You see, he has given a couple of examples. Iswaran Sachivadas Maharaj. Once he was in Tucson, Arizona. A shop owner, he hit him. When he saw this devotee distributing books, he took danda and hit him and he broke his the danda rod on his head and shoulder and broke it and gave it to him. One shop owner became angry because they were putting a book table just outside the shop. How can you do this in front of my shop? He was beaten like that. Similarly, once he was in a Boston Commons, there is a Copley Square. I also have been distributing books there in Boston, just near the temple. You go out to the temple and take one right turn. In the corner, there's one church there. Just in front of the church, there's space. So you can stand there and distribute books. So when he was also distributing there, somebody threw a bottle that hit him over the head. Can you imagine? Somebody angry. Naturally, it must have caused a cut or something. So there are some envious elements who may sometimes think that you are coming to their country and propagating your Krishna consciousness. They may attack also. Similarly, many devotees have gone to jail for the offense of chanting Hare Krishna in the public places. So these are all examples. Sometimes you are living peacefully in the temple and ashram, but sometimes they throw a bomb or they shoot also. One day, the Grace Sankarshan Adhikari Prabhu was in the Brahmacharya ashram in those days, before marriage. Suddenly, a couple of thieves broke into the ashram. They wanted to steal something. So Prabhuji saw that and he loudly shouted, Narasimha! Like that he shouted. What he shouted? Narasimha! And at that time, the president of the temple was coming down the steps. And he saw the thieves and he saw the devotee called Narasimha. He said, Hey, get the gun, he said. Thieves ran away immediately. Of course, they had gun, but there was no, this one, bullets were not there. But still asking for the gun was enough to drive them away. So Prabhuji was telling, sometimes in the West, there can be such great dangers of somebody shooting somebody. So these are all challenging situations. One may feel that, oh, I came to spiritual life, why is God putting me in such testing situations? One may feel. But one thing is, a devotee is fearless. Like in Ukraine, there were two devotees who were serving khichdi, you know that? For weeks together they were serving. One time the enemies saw that these fellows are supplying strength to, supplying food to the soldiers and everybody. So they put a bomb from the top and they killed the devotees on that place. They didn't allow them to further cook and distribute. So these are all extremely challenging situations to serve. Therefore, His Holiness Bhakti Maharaj used to say, in India, preaching is sense gratification, he said. Why sense gratification? You hardly face any challenges. You can put a book table anywhere you want. You can sneak into so many hostels to bring the students for the program. You give some prasadam to watchman and he will allow you. Isn't it? It is so easy. Yeah. Even the police people also. Once a policeman was shouting at our devotee. What mistake the devotee committed, do you know? See, there was a big board put up, no parking. But the devotee saw the word only parking. And there was one small no put up in the tower. He didn't see that. So the police were about to tow away the vehicle. And the devotee came running and told the police, please don't take it away, I am here. He said. Police said, how did you park here? No parking is written. Sorry, sir, I wanted to park somewhere. I saw the word parking. Park there. And the policeman said, now come to police station, he said. So he gave him one phone babdi, prasad. And police ate it. He was like to some how de dena. So he gave one more to him. And two policemen ate two each. And then said, ठीक है, बाद में ऐसे इधर पार्किंग नहीं करना, ठीक है, चले जाओ. You know? So easily they solve the problem, isn't it? In India, life is so easy. That's what he's saying. Sometimes it may be very humorous contrast to stereotyped ways of life. Thrill you get when you go for preaching and book distribution, everything. But in some countries, the preaching may be very challenging. In any situation, the devotee does not give up the sincerity. Read that, the news media.
The news media regularly blasphemes and abuses the Krishna consciousness movement. And if a devotee decides to dedicate his or her life to Krishna consciousness, there is a good chance that he or she will be rejected by family, friends, and society.
Yeah. So family, friends, society may reject a person because you are sticking on to Krishna consciousness. So here you can pair up with your neighbor and you can discuss where you felt, oh, how wonderful Krishna consciousness is. It is so exciting that material life appears pale. Like that you feel. And there is another instance you can discuss. Oh, this is what I came to spiritual life for. Like that you feel. So each member of the group should contribute a reply to at least one of the above two questions I've written. So it's supposed to be thought-provoking. Two situations, correct, no? One situation makes you blissful. Another situation makes you fearsome in your Krishna conscious practice. You discuss with your friend, two of you pair up. And then when you raise hand, I will ask you, okay? Yeah, you can do it to the neighbor. You got it? Yeah. Take one instance. How wonderful Krishna consciousness is. It is so exciting and makes my material life appear pale. Anybody would like to share? Sam, you got a very good instance to share. Anybody? You can raise the hand. Yes, go ahead. Give the mic to him. Way behind. Mic can go there. You will take alternately. Yes.
Hare Krishna. So one instance was
I was very perturbed. I was being connected to ISKCON SNGM in Bangalore, and I was worried. Like I got IIT here, and I was like, will I be able to continue my bhakti? Because when I checked in Google, there was only one ISKCON that was showing 10 kilometers away from the campus in Kharagpur. So I was completely perturbed, and I was like, okay, how can I continue bhakti here? So back up, I thought that okay, maximum I will at least eat onion garlic and survive here. But when I got to know that Nimayanand Prabhu is here, I got to know through Subandhu Prabhu.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is 10 times more better.
Yeah. Then he went
So,
to the center, he saw the center.
huh,
That is society.
yes. So then I saw that, then I understood that ISKCON is like an extended family. Wherever you go, devotees are ready to come.
Haribo. Good, very nice. Anybody, one more like that? One more example. Yes, Mataji. Give the mic to her. The mic can go. Only one mic is available. Yes. Give the mic. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Right.
I have seen significant change in my husband. And then I thought that if Krishna consciousness changed my husband, they can do anything.
Haribo. Amazing. Good realization. Very good. That's what one mother also said. My son was such a rowdy. If he can become a devotee in this world, anybody can become a devotee. Yeah. So sometimes people appear to be atheistic, but then when they come to Krishna consciousness, they become most serious devotees. Huh? Very good. Thank you. And now on the other side, oh, is this what I came to spiritual life for? And you feel sometimes some challenges in your spiritual life. Anybody? You have some example? If you raise the hand, mic will come to you. Hmm? Sometimes you have a quarrel with the devotee. You never had a quarrel with devotee? Morning you get up, suddenly you find the towel is missing. Yes. And you're running here, there, and then you find a devotee coming out of the bathroom with your towel. Correct now? You get miserable, you quarrel, correct now? Or sometimes you find a devotee inside the bathroom with closed door is singing a nice Vaishnava song and enjoying the shower for half an hour. And you tell him it's 4:22 now. Huh? Get out, Prabhuji. You can. He set the place for singing inside. Huh? So sometimes in devotees' residential place, sometimes we have tussles like this. There's one more hand was up. Where was the hand? Yeah, please give the mic to him. Mhm. It's coming to you, Mike? Yeah. And then when you want to go to college, you find your chapel is missing. So, and you take someone else's chapel and then they take someone else's. Ultimately, everybody is wearing everyone else's. And the last devotee misses because he doesn't have. Everybody is taken, yes?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So sometimes there is a case in which we have something to share to someone in our heart, but we are not able to share. Then that is the time when we feel like this. That
You
why?
feel some uneasiness, some fear to share, correct, no?
Yes.
That fear is because they will go and tell everybody. So we have a fear, you know. Or, their opinion about me will become less. I may not be in their good books. So sometimes you are keeping things to yourself, you suppress it. So inside you feel little problem with that. So at least we all should have one or two people in this world to whom we can open up freely without any fear. They will not yell at you. They will not alienate you. Huh? Yeah. So we should be able to, everybody. Sometimes in the early stage of Krishna consciousness, you fear to reveal. Huh? Once you become very mature, you will be able, like even Veda Vyas, after writing all the Vedic literature, he revealed his mind to whom? Narada. And Arjuna, the greatest archer in the entire world, he cried and then he revealed his mind to Krishna. All of us, we have to be able to reveal our mind to somebody. Thank you. And who else? Any other one more point? Yes, please give the mic to him.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Right.
Sometimes in preaching we have gone, but some devotees. In preaching we have gone to boil water, but ISKCON. So
They tease you.
what is the use of my preaching?
Correct. So he's saying that sometimes when you go to call the boys in the hostel, some people tease you. ISKCON, ISKCON, ISKCON. They joke at you and you feel, oh, people don't properly respect us and they mistreat us or they ridicule us. You feel little vulnerable and uneasy. So, yes, it can happen, especially when the number of devotees is very small, and the non-devotees are a big number. So therefore, we have to make our voice centers into bigger centers. Imagine you have 30, 40 devotees and all the karmis, they will run away. That's it. Devotees are too many. If they come and see this crowd, they will tremble. We have to increase the devotees. So like he said, in this way, all of us in our life, we get both types of moments. But sincerity means what? To persist even in difficulties. Correct, no? Say, for example, you had a cook who was cooking, suddenly cook ran away. Then for almost 2 weeks, he was not there. Then you all have to cook and your exam is also coming. Huh? So that time you wonder, my Lord, how will I study for the exam? We have to cut sabji, we have to roll chapatis, we have to cook. And you curse, give all kinds of curses to the cook. But he's not available there. He has already run away. Isn't it? So sometimes one feels that, why did I join the center? If I was in a hostel, I can just go to the mess and eat. I don't have to cook. One thinks like that. So therefore, you will, time to time, you will get test for your Krishna consciousness. Whether you are serious about going back to Godhead or you are just hanging around there for a while. Correct, no? Yeah. See, then another very important point is coming here. Deliberated duties in spiritual life versus self-created duties in material life. So here, the second line is very important. This one. See the yellow highlighted portion.
The Krishna conscious movement is not a quietism of mere armchair speculation. It is war against Maya.
It's a war against Maya. We cannot be just sitting and relaxing. Therefore, it is said, if you are casual, you'll become a casualty, it is said. The one has to act at every moment. See, here he says here, one who willingly read that. You can read the whole thing. These seemingly material duties are undertaken not for anyone's personal gratification, but for the purpose of pleasing Krishna. And that example is given here. Like Prabhupada wanted devotees to go out and distribute books, and he also wanted them to raise funds, and sometimes Prabhupada had to even get his disciples married, and sometimes get a land and build a temple. Somebody may say, oh, what is this? Well, how does it differ from material life? In material life also we have bank balance. Material life also we are building buildings. In material life also we are driving cars. In material life also we have to work hard. Here also we are working. Answer is, he says, in Krishna consciousness, the seemingly material duties are undertaken not for our personal gratification, but for pleasing Krishna. Arjuna is fighting, Duryodhana is fighting, but Arjuna is fighting for Krishna's pleasure. Read further.
One who willingly undertakes and who does not resent the headaches and entanglements which may result from practical devotional service in this world becomes very dear to Krishna and enters into an intimate relationship with Krishna in the spiritual world.
Yeah, resent means hate, which may result from practical devotional service. Like, in America, devotees take a car and they go sometimes 500 miles, 1,000 miles, 2,000 miles also driving the car, university to university, city to city. In the morning, sometimes when they go wherever they get water, chill water is available on taps somewhere. Sometimes they open the tap, take buckets of water and just pour it. And they take cold water bath in the outdoor. And then put on the dress and then put the tilak and then chant and then proceed. Very bus party. It's a very, Sankirtan bus party is a very austere life it is. So that's what he's saying, that a devotee knows that I'm doing it for the pleasure of Krishna. So then one can enter into a relationship with Krishna in the spiritual world. One is ready to do austerities for Krishna's pleasure. So here he says here, a devotee should never feel sorry if his devotional service leads him to many difficulties and burdens. The more burden and responsibility one is willing to take for Krishna, the more dear he becomes to the Lord. Like you all know how Prabhupada took trouble, correct, no? Whether it was a couple of heart attacks while going in the Jaladuta. Even Jaladuta, how he got ticket. 3 to 4 hours he was waiting outside Samati Morarji's office, correct, no? He, as an old man, huh? Then he got the cargo ship ticket, and there was a seasickness, couple of heart attacks, his old age, frail body, America, no acquaintance. Huh? So he took all the trouble. So you become more dear to the Lord by taking trouble. Read further.
Does spiritual advancement mean freedom from all management? One may wonder how can the hassles we undergo in the purchase of a building can be considered spiritual. Often devotees equate spiritual advancement with retirement from practical duties. Also, one tend to think that taking sannyas, the renounced order of life, means freedom from all management.
See, sometimes our brahmacharis who go to college for preaching, when they have to make a voice center, they have to go around to find out a house, which is the most difficult thing to do. Huh? Because sometimes the house is very good, close to college, walkable distance, but the owner doesn't allow. He says only families are allowed here. Boys cannot stay. And some places boys are allowed, but very costly. Cost is too high. And some of the houses are very big, spacious. Boys will be very happy. Only they are 5 kilometers from the college. The distance is very much. Or sometimes they are near the college, but there is no market available. For market, you have to go too far. And some buildings are beautifully built. Flat size is good, and the rent is also very cheap. You wonder how, because there is no water supply there. Only once in a day, only 1 hour it will come. You have to store 2 dozen buckets and keep it. So you have to see many things. Sometimes everything is good. Flat is good, water is there, electricity is there, near the college, market is near. Only thing is, owner is living down and you are living in the top. Every day he'll come and give feedback. No, don't make noise, no mangalarti sound. Don't beat the mridanga, hum log so rahe hain subah. Yeah. The neighbors won't allow you to practice peacefully. So, therefore, even brahmacharis sometimes have to go and get the cylinder and get the grocery and get a house on rent. And then sometimes they have to create a facility, put the cloth line for drying clothes. Sometimes they have to cook themselves. When cook runs away, they have to cook also. So one shouldn't say that, what is this? Grihasthas have to do all these things and I am also doing all these things. Yes, you are doing it for propagating Krishna consciousness. Like Prabhupada, even as a sannyasi, was cooking for the hippies. Correct, no? I was very happy to know Nimanand Poo said in IIT, now the boys are only cooking, only they have one servant to wash the pots and cut sabji. Otherwise, the boys are able to cook, which is a very amazing thing. Because if you cook with difficulty and you offer it to the Lord, Lord will be more pleased than like a jamindar, you just employ somebody to cook and offer to the Lord and then give you. You say, I am doing the favor of eating prasad. So, if you can, even I remember in my company days, I used to cook morning, evening twice. And I used to cook extra and carry for the program also. So when we cook with our own hands, the Lord is even more pleased. So one should not mind these difficulties. Like a mother also, in raising you as a small baby, when you were a small baby, we must have passed stool and she has cleansed it. And the middle of the night, cry also, make noise. And poor mother, daytime also she works hard, night also she has to get up. So you can see that mother does a lot of sacrifice to raise a child. Same way with us also. We should be very happy to take austerities in Krishna's service. Yeah, read further. So,
Srila Prabhupada wrote, you
no,
mentioned
here. Now, okay. Yes, you mentioned.
here. You mentioned that you are no longer much occupied with seeing that the rent and mortgage is paid and that the incense is sold. But GBC means to be occupied with everything in the zone. It is not that now we are preachers, we can neglect all other points. No, the GBC member is supposed to know everything and anything about the condition and situation of all matters within his jurisdiction. That is the meaning of secretary.
Yeah, GBC Secretary Robert says, for example, if you are a brahmachari or a preacher going to a center, you have to look into everything. How the kitchen is, how the deity altar is, how the mridangam, kartal, instruments are proper, and also how the devotees are living. Are they happy? Is the prasadam tasty? Is it hot? Is it served on time? And also, how is the morning program? Whether it's conducted properly? How is the grocery? Yeah, is the sabji which is coming is fresh? Or the flowers we are getting for Lord service, is it fresh, very nice? Is the altar neat and clean? There should not be cobwebs catching. Huh? Every day you should clean it nicely. Similarly, the vehicles are in good condition. Otherwise, if a vehicle is about to break down, somebody will get an accident. Huh? Vehicle should be proper. And cleanliness, most important. If you are not clean, Tamoguna will come in and then we will become lethargic, lazy, slow, dull, and then our efficiency will reduce. We will start postponing. Have a clean. So just look into everything Prabhupada is saying. One should not think, I am just a preacher, I'll just go give lecture and come back. Huh? No, like giving lecture is only one small aspect. So it's a temple of the Lord. Prabhupada could not tolerate any uncleanliness anywhere. He was very, very strict about it. Like once somebody had put a bead bag hanging on the wall. Prabhupada saw that, what is it? What is it? What is the dead rat hanging? That, and then Prabhupada saw another devotee had put the bead bag just outside the bathroom on this thing in the top. Prabhupada said, why is this bead bag hanging here for 300 years? Like that he asked. Of course, the Prabhu went into bathroom, but he said, you should not put it touching the bathroom door. It's a very muchi place. Muchi means impure place. You should not put bead bag there. Bead bag should be in the altar, in the pure place. So in this way, Prabhupada was very attentive to everything. Yeah. Read that.
So, because we are engaged in many fields of activity, I am especially relying upon that knowledge of my GBC assistants and secretaries to manage everything properly. But if we do not take time to understand how the financial matters are going on, then at any moment we may experience some calamity due to our inattention to these matters. Therefore, you should try to keep yourself always informed how the financial matters are improving and keep your watchful eye on every feature of our Krishna consciousness activity.
One should think long term, not short term. For example, there are two audiences we have to focus. One audience is a serious devotees. Another audience is lightweight devotees. So lightweight devotees become prerna, correct? No? We got prerna boys. They will only come once in a month. They'll chant, dance, take prasad and push off. But if you take care of them, later on they may become supporters. They may give donations. But most of the voice centers, they don't focus on this prerna because they know they are not going to become very serious. So they neglect them. And they focus on the devotees who become very serious. But then the running of the center becomes difficult without money. Correct, no? Because money comes from whom? From the prerna boys. So people don't think long term. So those who can think long term should make some provision for the funds to come to run the center and also to devote some time for the student. That's what he's saying. You should pay attention to every small thing. Nothing should be done carelessly. Everything should be done very meticulously. Put it on paper. See, companies are so, organized. For example, you go to a typical IT company, they have a DPR, they call it, you know that? Daily Program Review. Morning, as soon as they come, immediately the team will have a standing meeting. What did we do yesterday and what do we want to do today? And in yesterday, what could we not complete and why? And what rectification we will take in order to complete the work today. This is called DPR. And then there is a weekly meeting minutes also. Once in a week, every Wednesday, they have meeting 10 to 11. And then for the entire week, program is chalked out. What should be done. Then they have a monthly meet also at the end of the month. What do you call it? They have Scrum meeting. Scrum, no? Scrum, they call it. That is the monthly one, is it? Fortnightly, yeah. That's fortnightly. Once in 15 days, yeah. So these guys are so super organized, you can see, in whatever they do. Now, sometimes as Hare Krishna devotees, we are very bindas. Very coolly, we just go chant and dance and everything will become. So we have to be organized. Prabhupada said, if you want to expand preaching, organization and intelligence. So one should not be lazy to plan out. In an organized way, we should use the syllabus completed, or the topics completed, and all the boys have attended the camps properly. How is that understanding? There should be some tests conducted. There should be some assignments. There should be some certification. So all these things, those who do well, I have seen they make a lot of devotees. Those who are very systematic and meticulous, they make a lot of devotees. That's why one should take this movement very seriously. Even Prabhupada says in one letter, we should conduct Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav. You know that? Because Prabhupada didn't want us to just hear one lecture here and then leave it here and go. Huh? He wanted us to take it seriously. Yeah, go ahead.
That is also part of preaching work. I am also preaching daily, but I am at the same time managing everything, seeing the statements of accounts, going to the bank, giving advice on every topic like that. Just now, I have purchased one apartment house with 7 apartments just adjacent to Los Angeles Temple, and very soon we shall invest in similar properties. So, practically, there is no question of my neglecting the financial matters of the society, and similarly, you shall do as I am doing. That is your real business.
Yeah. So that means Prabhupada said Krishna conscious management is also Krishna consciousness. Huh? Managing the movement for Krishna. See, here is Prabhupada Lamre. You have to come up with 5 lessons for our personal application. Okay? Who can read fast? One of you. Cut. You can read fast. It's one full page it is. Who is a fast reader? You can raise your hand. There is one hand up. Please give the mic to him. Like this you read. Prabhupada had not come to Vrindavan only to lecture. He wanted to begin construction on his new property. Like that, yeah. Go ahead. And the news from Bombay didn't distract him from his purpose. And every day,
Prabhupada had not come to Vrindavan only to lecture. He wanted to begin construction on his new property, and the news from Bombay didn't distract him from his purpose. Every day he would have the devotees hold a Sankirtan procession from the Radha Damodar temple to the property at Raman Reti. He would also go out occasionally to see the site. Still nothing more than grass huts, a wire fence, and a small stock of building materials. Subal, the disciple in charge of construction, was slow and reluctant, and Prabhupada sent for Tamal Krishna Goswami to come from Bombay to take charge. Early one morning, Subal left the land at Raman Reti, where he had been staying, and approached Srila Prabhupada on the roof of the Radha Damodar temple. Prabhupada, he said, I am having so much difficulty. I don't have time to read. I can't chant my rounds properly. I can't think of Krishna. I'm always thinking of how the contractor is cheating us. Or I'm thinking of signing checks for labor and materials. It's just too much. All these things on my mind are stopping me from thinking of Krishna. Do you think Arjuna was simply meditating on Krishna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra? Prabhupada replied, Do you think Arjuna was sitting in yogic trance while on the battlefield Krishna worked? No, he was fighting. He was killing for Krishna. He was thinking of all the soldiers he had to kill for Krishna. Thinking of the checkbook, thinking of the men, thinking of the contractors. This is also Arjuna's thinking. This is Krishna's service. You should not worry about thinking of Krishna directly. Arjuna wasn't sitting before Krishna in a trance, meditating on his form. He was engaged in Krishna's service. Similarly, this is Krishna's service, and you should engage. Your life is full of Krishna's service, and that is very good. Subal was still unsatisfied. He complained to Prabhupada that the other devotees wouldn't cooperate with him. He wanted to go into seclusion in Vrindavan for the rest of his life and chant, instead of becoming a full-time preacher in ISKCON. Srila Prabhupada asked, What do you mean? No one will listen to you? You think that means they are defective? No, you are defective. Prabhupada raised his voice. If you are preaching and no one will listen, don't think you should go away in disgust and save yourself by chanting. No, that is not our line. We must qualify ourselves so they will listen. Do you know the story of Mr. Beecham? Subal shook his head. No one would buy his medicine, Prabhupada continued. So he became anxious. Still, he tried. And one day a man approached him in his shop and asked if he had any Beecham's powder. And in excitement that someone had asked for his medicine, he died. Similarly, better we spend our whole life and die just to make 1% Krishna conscious. That is our line. To become so absorbed in Krishna, so absorbed in preaching Krishna, whether in Vrindavan or anywhere, we must save all these asuras from destroying the world. In stressing active service and practical results, Srila Prabhupada was exactly following the teaching and example of his spiritual master. According to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, to chant in a secluded place and not preach was a cheating process. Devotional service meant practical work for Krishna. The simple, positive way to control the senses was to engage them fully in the service of Krishna. Active service was the topmost yoga. Prabhupada told Subal, a fact that he had repeatedly explained in his books. In the recently published second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, he had written, Here it is clearly mentioned that the inhabitants of Vrindavan were extensively busy in the hard labor of their day's work, and due to the day's hard labor, they were engaged in sound sleep at night. So practically, they had very little time to devote to meditation. They were engaged in the higher spiritual activities only. Everything done by them was spiritualized because everything was dovetailed in the relationship with Lord Sri Krishna. The central point of activities was Krishna, and as such, the so-called activities in this material world were saturated with spiritual potency. That is the advantage of the way of Bhakti Yoga. One should discharge one's duty on Lord Krishna's behalf, and all one's actions will be saturated with Krishna thought. The highest pattern of trance in spiritual realization. As far as possible, Prabhupada engaged each disciple in a certain service according to the particular disciple's psychophysical nature. But everyone had to take up some kind of work for Krishna. Since Prabhupada desired to build a temple in Vrindavan, then whoever would help him to do it, whether they were trained or not, or whether it was the tendency or not, whoever offered him assistance would become very dear to him and to Lord Krishna. When a householder couple, Gurudas and Yamuna, agreed to remain in Vrindavan to help Prabhupada build the temple, Prabhupada welcomed it and shared with them the intention of his plan. If you can construct a nice temple in Vrindavan for me in this way, I shall be eternally grateful, because we are a worldwide movement of Krishna, and if we do not have a nice place at Vrindavan, then what will be the use? Vrindavan is Krishna's land, and in the future, many of our disciples will go there just to see, along with many tourists and other friends. So, therefore, we must have sufficient place for them. I know that you are not trained up for being construction manager. Neither that job must be very tasteful to you. But because you're sincere devotee of Krishna, he is giving you all strength and intelligence how to do it. That is what we want. That is advancement in Krishna consciousness.
So 5 lessons at least we should be able to draw from this. When one lesson, any of you raise a hand, I'll give you the mic. One lesson you learned. Please give the mic to him here.
We should not think that if we are doing some service to Krishna, that always Krishna should be in our mind. The thing is, the service is very important, and that service is to be in our mind.
That is actually, one should do practical service. One should not think Krishna consciousness means just sit and chant or sit and meditate. People think that is more spiritual. And when you tell them to do practical service, go to the market, go to the bank, or construct a building, or purchase a car, or go out and distribute books. People think, oh, this doesn't look like so spiritual. Too much activity oriented. Purpose says that practical activity will eventually increase your thoughts of Krishna. So, Prabhupada there is one word used here, I'll just show you. So according to Bhaksan, here he says, here there are 2 words using. How to have it? See, 2 words are used there. Active service and practical results. Which is a highlight. Yeah. See, active service and so you are stressing on these 2 things. Active service with your hands and legs. Krishna anukulyena Krishna anu shelanam. You should do kaya, vacha, manasa. You should do some activity. And you should produce practical results. Like, Prabhupada asked, how many temples have you opened? How many books have you distributed? How many plates of prasadam distributed? How many devotees went for Harinam Sankirtan today? How many new preaching programs started in colleges and schools? How many new leaders are recruited into the ashram? How many of them are fully dedicated now? So, how much area of land have you procured for expanding Krishna conscious activities? How many college universities in which you have put Bhagavatam sets? So, Prabhupada was very, very particular about active service and practical results. Repeat, all of you. Remember that, Active service and practical results. Like, for example, I am going to the garden and doing active service, digging the ground, putting the seed and watering and fencing. And the practical results comes as a rose. That's a practical result. So hard work for making the rose plant, practical result is rose flower. Hard work for sowing the mango seed and growing it, then practical results is mango fruits. Correct, no? So active service and practical results. That's one thing that's highlighted here. Main thing, that is the main thing highlighted here. Then another thing here, one more thing I'll show you. Yeah. See, Prabhupada observed that there are two people, Subal on one hand and Ramakrishna Maharaj on the other hand. Subal was very slow and reluctant, and Ramakrishna Maharaj was very fast and consistent, and persistent. So he saw the difference between the two. What is the reason for that? Why was the Subal slow and reluctant? Who can say? Yes, give the mic to him. Mic is coming?
Hare Krishna. According to the what I have read from here, it seems like Subal Prabhu is saying service and thinking of Krishna as two different things, chanting and then the service. Whereas Tamal Krishna Maharaj is
Subal is thinking that, reading or hearing and, that kind of activities, meditating on the Lord, these are spiritual. I've come to Vrindavan, Radhe Radhe, I want to chant, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Chalo. They sing, Radhe Bol, Gahwar Van Ke Galiyon Mein Dol. So, people are very sentimental. Radhe 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 Radhe. You tell them to wash the plates, they'll say, what is this? You're telling me to wash the juta plates. In ISKCON, when you come, Prabhupada expected that we should be ready to do all type of services. When one Danavir Prabhu joined full time as a brahmachari, so the president told him, please go straight and take right. There's a garage there. So the garage is called Ekendra. Go and meet him and he'll give you some service. So when he went to the garage, there were 4 or 5 cars were there. And he saw, who is Ekendra? He's an 8-year-old boy. Just 8 years. Small kid. He's a devotee's son. So when he went to Ekendra and asked, where is Ekendra Prabhu? Yes. He said, I am Ekendra Prabhu. He said, you? I have to work under you. I am already a 18 or 20-year-old man and you are an 8-year-old boy. And I have to work under this small kid. So he looked like a kid, but he was a very smart kid. So he was telling him, see, I am going to show all of you how to wash the car with a hose pipe and how to maintain the car. So he took 3, 4 devotees and showed them how to do it himself. Then he understood in ISKCON, sometimes even small kids are very smart also. Right now. And he was a HOD for the vehicle department. Can you imagine? The 8-year-old kid of a congregation. That's why Prabhupada wanted us to be, active. As he said, active and show practical results. Not slow and reluctant. See, he says here, I don't have time to read. I don't have time. I can't think of Krishna. I'm always thinking of contractors cheating us. I'm signing checks for labor material. This. See, these are the ways he was thinking. Sival Prabhu is thinking now. See, he is thinking reading, chanting. See, why is he not able to read and chant and think of Krishna? Because he is not obeying the spiritual master. Like if he obeys Prabhupada's words, in daytime you keep yourself very, very active, produce practical results. Then you'll get a good night's sleep. The next day, early morning, you get up and then you can do your sadhana very well. There's a time for sadhana, not that you keep a bead bag and keep chanting all day. There's 4 rounds remaining, 2 rounds remaining. The night while going to sleep, 1 more round remaining. Then you won't do any service, correct, no? So wake up early in the morning and finish up your chanting, reading, everything, then do service all day. And then Prabhupada gives a very nice example. Arjuna was not meditating on Krishna, he was fighting the battle, correct, no? He worked for Krishna. Yeah. There's another point coming here. Subal is complaining here. Other devotees are not cooperating with him. So this is another thing he's bringing up. So now, what did Prabhupada say? Oh, who is not cooperating with you? He didn't ask. He says that if they are not cooperating with you, there is something wrong in the way you are handling them. Correct now? If you go, they will bring that ego. Then it's endless tussle. And then you will have to do all the service yourself. Huh? You won't get cooperation from others. So I heard a story of how once a washerman had a donkey and a horse. Huh? And it was a very hot sunny day. They both were standing outside. So the washerman had brought a lot of luggage and put it on the back of the donkey. Lot of things, clothes and this and everything. And the donkey was asking the horse, Sir, is it all right if you share half and I share half? Let us both share and carry the load, it will be all right for us. If they want to come inside, they're asking, what time is darshan? 12, huh? Yeah, I can tell them. If they're going away, call them. They can take darshan. 12 o'clock they can take darshan. They're wondering how to enter inside. Yeah. So, the donkey and the horse were talking. And the horse told the donkey, what? You are born for load carrying. Huh? Therefore you are gada. Therefore you have to carry the load. And we are royal animals. Huh? You say, I will take our Malik on my back. Tuck, 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 tuck. I can run like this. You have seen how my tail is beautifully going up and down and how I am running. We are very royal looking animals, not like the donkeys, he said. And the donkey couldn't speak a word, what to do, he tolerated. Then the Malik came and sat on the back of the horse, and horse started going ahead. Tuck, 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 he started going, and donkey was coming behind. Because sun was very hot, he started foaming in the mouth. After some distance, he collapsed, donkey. And he fell unconscious. Huh? And the Malik felt pity for the donkey. He got down, and he sprinkled water and slowly lifted the donkey. Then he put the donkey on the top of the horse. Then all the luggage also. Then he also sat on the top. Now the whole load came to whom? Yeah, because he didn't share. Correct, no? So you will see that because he was arrogant and non-cooperative, the whole load came to him. Correct, no? Initially only if you agreed to share, this would not have happened. Similarly, sometimes you find the leader has to be very understandable with the devotees, how he does it. Otherwise, the whole load comes on him. Prabhupada is saying that. And then he told the example of beecham powder, correct? No? He made people buy, he said. And then he gives the example of inhabitants of Vrindavan, see here, for practical activity. They were extensively busy. And they had a sound sleep at night, he is saying. They had very little time to devote on meditation or to the other paraphernalia of spiritual activities. So actually, they were engaged in higher spiritual activities only because all those activities were meant for for Krishna. All their activities were meant for Krishna. Yeah. So he's giving example of Krishna Arjuna, Arjuna fighting the battle. He's giving the example of Vrijabasis. He's giving. Nice example Prabhupada is giving. Active service and practical results. Repeat. Yeah. That's the highlight of this whole thing. Another interesting thing he says here. See, Prabhupada engaged each disciple in a certain service according to the particular disciple's psychophysical nature, he is saying. So that is also very important. Then one can joyfully perform the service. But everyone had to take up some kind of work for Krishna, he says. Nobody can shirk any responsibility. Like somebody may like to distribute books, somebody may like to wash pots, somebody may like to do pujari service, somebody may like to paint. Like that, different type of service. Or somebody can construct a temple like that. Okay, read this one. Test of advancement. Pay the price and follow the process. Who has the mic with you? Yeah.
Test of advancement in Krishna consciousness. To take on only that which is pleasing to the Supreme Lord.
Yeah. See, what is not pleasing to Supreme Lord is when we are lazy or lethargic in tamaguna, or we are doing unrestrained action, doing whimsically what we want to do, which has no connection to Lord service. And such things do happen. One example I'll tell you, in Pune in those days, my computer conked off, it was not working. So there were two devotees, they said, Prabhuji, we can open your computer and set it right. So I told them, how will you do that? They said, oh, we are from electronics background, so we can do that. I gave them. 3 days passed. 3 days passed. And I went to the room to see. I saw the whole computer there opened, all displayed on the table. Different parts, all complicated circuits and everything. And I heard that they didn't have 2 nights sleep also. They were working hard. And they were missing the morning program and slogging hard. I said, why are you doing this? Because you are trying to figure out where the problem is. I said, you did a big mistake. Why are you doing this? Instead, let us call one AMC fellow. AMC they have? For computer, they take AMC, for repair. So I told them, you just leave all these things as it is. And then they reassembled it and they left it and went. So 4 days were lost in that. And that fellow came, within 5 minutes he found out the motherboard has to be changed. He found out. And he charged also some 300, 400 rupees. He gave him. And he repaired it and immediately it was working. And they went away. Then I called these guys and said, hey, so many days you wasted. They said, Prabhuji, we had some taste also for it. You may have taste for such activities, but we should not have taste for wasteful activities. Correct? Time should be well spent. Similarly, one devotee, he brought some materials for assembling a jeep. Because he said he has a team of devotees who are automobile engineering and all, they know assembling the vehicle. I said, why are you struggling so hard? So when they assembled, little by little, they purchased more and more parts and they assembled. The whole assembly came to 4.5 lakhs in those days. And if you got it assembled from outside, it was only 4.7 lakhs. But for this, these guys wasted 3 weeks' time. So is it really worth it? Instead, just throw peanuts and get monkeys, we say, no? So get some of the work done from other people. Instead of the 3 weeks loss, they could have done something better. That is why it's important that if I am going to do something, am I trying to please the Supreme Lord? One has to ask the question. We should not waste our valuable time. One time Prabhupada was giving Bhagavatam class. Hardly any devotees were there. Prabhupada asked, where are the devotees? Prabhupada asked. Prabhupada, they are all busy in service. Prabhupada said, service you can get it done by paying money, but Bhagavatam class you cannot pay money to attend the class. Correct, no? Who can attend it? Well, anybody, they should come and say. That means this is another principle. Morning program and Bhagavatam class cannot be compromised. Your active service, I told you, active service and practical results. That should be shown when? After post-Bhagavatam. Post-Bhagavatam. Till the whole morning program and Bhagavatam, that is actually a fuel for the, vehicle of spiritual life. That's very important. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, what he says here? Tomara sevaya dukha hoya jato saito parama sukha. Boliye. Tomara sevaya dukha hoya jato seva sukha dukha parama sampada nasaye avidya dukha. Seva sukha dukha parama sampada nasaye avidya dukha. So what he says, read the translation.
All the troubles encountered in your service shall be the cause of great happiness. For in your devotional service, joy and sorrow are equally great riches. Both destroy the misery of ignorance.
So in America, when His Holiness Vishnu Swami Maharaj, morning, devotees would take prasadam till 9, 9:30. And then 10 o'clock they would leave. And they would come back at evening 4, 4:30, they'll come back. And then take a bath, and then take prasad, then Narsingarti, Tulasi Arti, and Bhagavad Gita class in the evening. And then hot milk along with Krishna book reading, and go to sleep. This is the daily schedule. Early morning, rise at 3, 3:30, take a bath, recite some shlokas in the early morning before Mangalarti, then Mangalarti to Bhagavatam class. And after Bhagavatam class, take your prasad, do some cleansing of the ashram. Even today in America, many ashrams, they daily clean, half an hour, 1 hour. And then you finish your prasadam, then go out at about 10 o'clock, come back at 4, 4:30, 6 to 7 hours. And what they would do outside, when they would go out, like 1 hour they would distribute books and do Harinam Sankirtan. 1 hour, like 10 to 11. Then a lot of books will go. And then 11 o'clock they will sit in one place, and then everybody will be served a juice, some lemon juice or some banana shake or chiku shake, something. Take that, and they sit in a circle. And then Vishnu Swami would read from Krishna book. He would narrate the pastimes very dramatically. Different devotees would read like that. That they would hear for about another 1 hour. Again get up, another 1 hour Harinam Sankirtan. And this would go to another street, another area. So like 1 hour hearing, 1 hour, distributing books along with Harinam and Prasadam distribution. Like that they would do almost like every day they are reading Prabhupada's books 2 to 3 hours. And 2 to 3 hours Harinam Sankirtan. And then evening they would be back at 4:30. And then take a bath. And then there was a lot of experience to share. Today, one fellow took this book from me, and one fellow gave his contact. And then, so they would spread out and distribute, and then come back and assemble and sit and hear Katha again. So they were all in a group. Sometimes the group was as many as 60 devotees. Can you imagine? The whole temple will be empty except the pujari. Nobody will be there in the temple. Everybody is out like that. And it was a daily schedule like this. And then when they would come in the evening, Vishnu Swami would sit on the moat of the car. And then he would be playing the harmonium and singing kirtans. One by one devotee will come and stand in front of him. He would tell them, Mataji, you go to the kitchen and get the kitchen washed. That's your seva today. Prabhuji, you go to Pujari room. This is your service. He will keep allotting service and doing kirtan also along with that. He was always like Narada, having a doing kirtan also along with that service. So he was the president of the temple. So coolly he managed the temple. Simply by singing kirtan, allotting service, going with devotees and Harinam, they did like that. So why did I say that? Because although it was all day hard work, they never felt the pinch of going out on a hot sunny day, distributing books and doing Harinam, because they were doing kirtan, they were all together. They felt they are going to take over the world in 1 week. That's the mood in which they were preaching, like that. So one should not feel the service is burdensome. Now if you tell the devotees, go for 1 hour Harinam, they say, they're very calculative. Prabhuji, now it's almost 55 minutes, can we go back? They are very time conscious nowadays. But they were so, hardworking. Even before this, what I'm telling you is little later. When Vishnu Swami in the early years, in 68, 69, if you see, he would go in the marketplace and put a cloth and keep a harmonium and sit, and he would close his eyes and sing. When he would open the eyes, there will be 30 people all sitting in the cloth in front of him. Then he would tell them, invite me to your home this evening and I'll make your home into a temple. He would tell them. Then many will raise a hand and say, here is my card. Please come to my home. And he would sometimes get a dozen cards in 1 day only. But he would tell them, I will take turns and come. So he would visit one home and he would do the kirtan for 1, 2 hours in their house. And they would give some charity. Then he would come back. One day, one very elderly couple invited him. So when he went to their home, like this hall you are seeing now, this kind of empty hall they had. And in the neighborhood, they had 2, 3 more rooms. They were living in those rooms. So they told him that this hall is just lying empty. We are not using it. If you want, you can bring your devotees. You all can stay here. And you can use this place for your kirtan. And we also are very old people. We can get your company. Daily we can hear kirtan. So they accepted it. Then after that, he got a dozen devotees who joined him full time, and they all would stay in that hall. And then that was turned into a temple hall. Very simple life. They didn't endeavor separately for making a very big temple or anything. Very simply, basically, Sankirtan, book distribution, prasadam distribution, going place to place, introducing new people, connecting them to Krishna, reminding them of God. Very simple life. So they never, that's what he's saying. Tomara sevaya dukkha hoya yato sayito paramasukaya. Whatever troubles they underwent in Krishna's service, they were ready to do it, accepting it as great joy. Yes, read that.
Expressing the pure surrender of Krishna's topmost devotees, the gopis, Lord Chaitanya prayed as follows: I do not mind my personal distress. I only wish for the happiness of Krishna, for his happiness is the goal of my life. However, if he feels great happiness in giving me distress, the distress is the best of my happiness. In his purport, in this purport to this verse, Srila Prabhupada speaks of the difference between unalloyed devotional service and devotional service, which is covered by fruitive desire.
Our Jiva Goswami gives one very powerful example. He says one village man came to city and he was working as a chowkidar, watchman. And he was staying in a chal. You know what is chal? Chal means a small house which has no door, which has only a curtain kind of thing. And there is a gutter water may be flowing, mosquitoes all around, noisy. He was staying in such a single room he was staying. So although he was drawing like 5,000 rupees, only 1,000 he would use for himself. 4,000 he would send to his wife and children in the village. So while living in that chal, daily he got mosquito bites. He only ate one meal a day. Other time of the day he would just drink water and live. But he was always in a cheerful mood, happy and smiling, because he thought my wife will be wearing a nice sari, my son will go to school, he will drink milk at home and go to school. So thinking of their happiness, he was getting happiness. That is called as. So Jiva Goswami says, in the same manner, a devotee want to make Krishna happy, and when Krishna is happy, devotee feels happy. Poverty for oneself, opulence for Krishna. This is the formula of a devotee. Like our Sanatana Goswami is sitting in a hut, but he is giving Krishna and Madan Mohan a very big temple. Opulence for Krishna and poverty for oneself. That means his happiness is where? Yeah, Tat Sukhi Sukitvam. Getting happiness in his Krishna's happiness. Yeah. Read this one.
Enjoy sense gratification by making a show of service to Krishna. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura says that a devotee does not care about his own
Mic,
happiness.
where is the mic? Can be little away. It's making boom boom sound it's making. Yeah, yes.
He is simply interested in seeing that Krishna is happy, and for that purpose he engages in various activities. A pure devotee has no way of sensing happiness except by seeing that Krishna is happy in every respect. If Krishna becomes happy by giving him distress, such a devotee accepts that unhappiness as the greatest of all happiness. Those who are materialistic, however, who are very proud of material wealth and have no spiritual knowledge, like the Prakrita Sahajiyas, regard their own happiness as the aim of life. Some of them aspire to enjoy themselves by sharing the happiness of Krishna. This is the mentality of fruitive workers who want to enjoy sense gratification by making a show of service to Krishna. Chaitanya Charitamrita Antilila 20 points. But when a devotee acts only on behalf of Lord Krishna for his pleasure, accepting as Krishna's mercy whatever difficulty he may encounter in prosecuting his Krishna consciousness duties in this world, that devotee is factually situated on the liberated platform, even in this world. And the final reward for his selfless service will be the eternal loving affection, association of the Lord in his spiritual world.
Okay. I asked some questions to you here. Give an example of a fruitive worker who wanted to enjoy sense gratification by making a show of service to Krishna. Any example? Who made a show that is serving Krishna, but his goal was sense gratification? Yeah? Daksha, correct. Daksha Prajapati. He was very proud. He said that I am a Prajapati. The God has appointed me to beget children in this world. So he was very proud of his service. So when Hamsakushya prayers he offered, when Lord Vishnu appeared, you know what Lord Vishnu told him? My dear Daksha, fortunately, my desires are matching with yours. Like that the Lord said, which means I also want to see the Praja Utpatti happening in this world. And you already have made up your mind to do that. Okay, go ahead, no problem. My desires are matching with yours, he said. So fruity workers means they do what they want and they offer the fruit to God. Whereas bhakta means he will try to find out what God wants from me and then he will do that. Second one, give an example of a devotee who acted only on behalf of Lord Krishna and for Krishna's pleasure despite not liking it oneself. Yes? Arjuna. Arjuna didn't like to fight, but agreed to fight. Very good example. Then, Prahlad Maharaj, what he did? Here it says, despite not liking it oneself, he's saying. Arjuna didn't like to fight, but he still fought. Priyavara didn't like to marry, but still he agreed to marry. Dhruva Maharaj wanted to fight with Yakshas, still he stopped fighting. Those kind of examples. Give an example of a devotee who accepted reversals and difficulties as Krishna's mercy. Prabhupada, then? Chitrik is accepted reversals as Krishna's mercy? I don't think so. Acha, you are taking later part. When he became Dhritarashtra. Yeah, when Parvati cursed him. Yeah, that's a good example. That's a good example, yeah. Also Ambrish Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, all of them. Okay, give an example of a devotee who was willing to give up all personal considerations to take on only that which is pleasing to Supreme Lord, which was ruling the world. Priyavrat Maharaj. Avoiding war between humans and demigods. No, not Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj didn't fight with demigods. Did he fight with demigods? No. Avoiding war between humans and demigods. Prithu. Because Prithu was the earthly king, Indra was the heavenly king. There was a tussle between them. But Prithu didn't fight because Brahma told him to stop. So he agreed to stop. To stay back after Lord departed to the spiritual world. Buddhava. To die without retaliating. Parikshit Maharaj. To fight a battle despite not liking. Arjuna. To stop a battle despite wanting to fight. Dhruva Maharaj. To forego comforts without argument, show equanimity in pleasure and pain, tolerate insults and respect. Who? Sudama. Jadabharat. Exactly. Bharat. Jadabharat. Yeah. Jadabharat actually accepted burnt rice given by his brothers. His father was affectionate, brothers were harsh. And the dacoits also gave him nice food and kumkum chandan and garland and everything, silk clothes. And then they took a kadaga and tried to cut his neck. They gave sukh-dukh, they gave. Father and brothers gave shita ushna. And then Rahugana gave manapaman. In all cases, he was equipoised. Okay, now I am going to give you all time for your own activity. What you have to do, this is page number 5 onwards. See, there are groups made, 6 groups, correct na Prabhu? Already made. So you all know the group and group leader can stand up in their own places and tell them. Who are the leaders of the groups? One leader in each group. First group is inquire and learn. That's the first leader. So each group can take 15 minutes to present your topic, okay? 15 minutes. You can make a PPT also, you can make.
Okay. So we have not made the leader, Guruji, but the groups are made. So the group 1, inquire is KGP Dwarka voice.
One facilitator of the group.
Yeah, maybe.
Anybody one devotee can tell the name.
Okay. Preeti Sundar Prabhu.
Who?
You can stand up, bro.
Okay. He is there, Prabhuji.
We
You all can come little ahead. All of you can come little bit ahead. Yeah. Okay. And second group?
Second group is here. That is Dhanbad voice devotees. All Dhanbad.
Here,
voice devotees.
instructions eagerly. Where is Dhanbad? Who is the leader? One leader? Can stand up?
We have divided into Dhanbad pass out devotees are separate. This is Dhanbad voice, those who are inmates.
With Dhanbad voice, inmates devotees?
IIT Dhanbad voice.
All of you can stand up. IIT voice, Dhanbad voice devotees.
Those who are Still in the voice, though not passed out.
So these are second batch, second group, okay? Here instructions. here,
So,
this second batch.
so who is group leader?
One group leader.
One group leader you can choose.
Can
among
raise a
us.
hand, one of you.
Okay. Your name, bro? Sahil, bro.
You can note down that, okay?
Sahil, bro, can remain standing.
Yeah, you can sit down. And
Others-
then the third one,
Third, apply is
page number 7. Apply, execute instructions faithfully.
this is IIEST voice, Rameshwaram voice, and Alipur voice devotees.
And stand up.
All devotees
in
can
your
stand
own
up.
places.
IIST, Alipur, Rameshwaram.
One of you can take this to Prabhupada and give it.
You can. Anyone like to volunteer? as a
Anyone of you
leader?
would like to lead the team?
Okay.
Name?
Tarun, bro.
Tarun, note down name.
Okay. Tarun, bro, can remain standing.
Yeah, that's the third one.
Fourth group, serve, NID
Yeah.
Jamshedpur devotees. You can remain. Tarun, bro, can. NID Jamshedpur devotees. Yes. Any one devotee like to be leader?
Fourth group is this one. Serve
Your
Guru
name, bro?
with his
Ronak, bro.
and win his blessings.
Yes.
Who is the leader?
Ronak, bro. NID Jamshedpur.
Okay, note down. Haribo.
Ronak, bro, can remain standing. Others can sit.
Okay.
Group
And then the
number 5,
fifth one.
Raurkela and Dhanbad pass out. 5 devotees.
So satisfy
You have chosen the 5.
and please Guru. Where is Raurkela?
Who are the 5?
Can stand up all Raurkela devotees.
Raurkela and Dhanbad pass out.
Raurkela and Dhanbad pass out. Raurkela and Dhanbad pass out. Okay.
Dhanbad pass out 5 devotees only in this group.
Okay.
Okay.
So one leader is required for this group. Who is that? Any of you can raise a hand, one of you?
So these 5 devotees will be those who are under the Shank Prabhu. They will be with Rahul Kala team. Okay. Next 15 devotees will be after this one.
So under the Shank Pro, 5 devotees can stand up and Raurkela devotees. So anyone can volunteer for being a group leader?
It's not confusing, no? Fifth name is correct.
Yes, bro.
Clear?
But
Fifth name.
is-
Who is the leader for the fifth team? Who
your
is the
name-
leader?
Your name, bro? Huh? Your name?
Okay.
Chitra?
Chetavi Hariprabhu is the fifth team.
Okay.
Okay.
So except for Prabhuji, everyone sits down.
And then the last team, sixth one, consult Guru even when you are advanced. Who is the last team?
This is last is Dhanbad.
All Dhanbad pass out devotees except
Dhanbad passed out devotees.
Please stand up.
Dhanbad pass out devotees except for the Shank Bros. Those who are under the Shank Pro. All can
Okay.
stand up.
Okay. Who is the leader of the team?
ISKCON temple, ISKCON Dhanbad devotees, they can stand up. Those who are staying in Jagjeevan Nagar center except the Shank Prabhu.
Who is the leader? One leader? Rashminder?
Ravi Shankar.
Ravi Shankar, where is Ravi Shankar?
Yeah.
Okay.
So except for Ravi Shankar, others can sit.
So now what you all have to do, Prabhu, quickly you can make a note of what I am going to suggest to you. See, I have shown you 6 groups till now. Huh? So each of the group, you have to go through your section well. Say, for example, the first one. Inquire and learn about your spiritual welfare. Read this, what is given here. You can make a note. And then I have given some activity also, which also you can cut and put in your PPT also. Huh? You can check with the audience. If they are not able to answer, then you can answer. Huh? But what you have to do, the information given here, see here I have written, tell one great inquiry of each of the above personalities and glorious answers given by the speakers. So only one page is available for you here. But outside this also you can add more information about inquiring and learning about spiritual welfare. So there is one book available. I will give it to Nimanand Prabhu. This is a book by Gauranga Darshan Prabhu. Recently has brought one book on Shastric study. I think I'll give it to you. From there also they can extract some information. I'll give it to you just now. You can, I think, send it by this thing, I think. I can send them, okay? So that if you refer, you'll get some more information you'll get from that book also. So put together, make a short PPT, say like 6 or 8 slides, maximum 2 digit, 10 slides maximum. Don't make it too exhaustive. Make a short PPT presentation. We have projector available. You can show it. So your team can come when we ask you to present. One team will present for 15 minutes. So you present 15 minutes and I may add some another half an hour or 40 minutes. So we may do some discussion and all. Okay. And after that, we go to the second one, third one, like that. Any questions on this? Anybody? Actually, what should be your goal in presenting this? At the end of the first presentation, devotee should be convinced that I should become a very good inquirer, tattva jignasu, and I should have a great eagerness to learn. And many examples you should give from the Shastra so that I can also cultivate such jignasa, tattva jignasa. Similarly, when you talk about second one, hearing, the importance of hearing instructions enthusiastically, eagerly. So if you read it, you will get some idea. Plus, I'm going to give you one book also. From there, you can extract more information, okay? And you all are very expert in making PPTs, I'm sure. You can go to Canva or something and put it, make it nicely and bring it, okay? So now they have time. How much time they have? 1.5 hours?
No.
Yeah, now it is 12:30 till 2 they have time. And then? Okay. You can announce it.
So Hare Krishna, now some very important